Thanks indeed, viewers. We stick to a very big story tonight, and that's come straight from the Supreme Court. In fact, the Supreme Court today delivered two very significant judgments. We are focusing on one of them. Viewers, let me begin by putting out some conventional wisdom. Viewers, if you don't stand up for what you believe, if you're not prepared to fight for what is important to you, then don't expect anyone to fight your battles for you. If you're not convinced about your cause, how can you expect someone else to be convinced about it? That's the lesson that the Supreme Court imparted to Uddhav Thackeray today. The Maharashtra Sena leader and former Chief Minister of Maharashtra had moved the top court, demanding that the apex court should term illegal his ouster in a political coup last year. Viewers will recall that the coup was engineered by Uddhav Thackeray's one-time loyalist, Eknath Shinde, who defected to the BJP and split the Shiv Sena. But today, after the Supreme Court gave Uddhav Thackeray a patient hearing, the apex court lost his appeal to be reinstated as Chief Minister by the Supreme Court, viewers. Now, this is very, very fundamental, because what Uddhav Thackeray was hoping was that he would be reinstated as a Chief Minister of nothing else than Eknath Shinde's elevation to the post would have been at least scrapped. But none of those outcomes were possible. First, listen in to the Chief Justice of India giving his reasoning.
This argument does not account for the fact that Mr. Thackeray did not face the floor test on 30 June 2022 and submitted his resignation. This court cannot quash a resignation that has been submitted voluntarily. Had Mr. Thackeray refrained from resigning from the post of the Chief Minister, this court could have considered the grant of the remedy of reinstating the government headed by him. The order of this court dated 29 June 2022 held that the outcome of the trust vote to be conducted on 30 June 2022 shall be subject to the final outcome of this batch of petitions. Since the trust vote was not held, the question of it being subject to the final outcome of these petitions does not, therefore, arise.
But despite the setback, Uddhav Thackeray today chose to claim the moral high ground. Listen to him and his advocates claiming that the Shinde government is no longer tenable. Listen in.
ठीक है, कानूनी तौर पर मैंने इस्तीफा दिया, शायद गलत हो सकता है, लेकिन नैतिकता अगर देखें तो जिन लोगों को मेरे पिताजी ने, मेरे पार्टी ने सब कुछ दिया, वो लोग उठकर मेरे ऊपर उंगलियां उठाएं, तो उनके लिए मैं मेरा विश्वास या अविश्वास क्यों जताने की कोशिश करूं? तो ऐसे लोगों को अधिकार ही नहीं है मुझे सवाल पूछने का। जिन लोगों ने मेरे पार्टी से सब कुछ लिया और गद्दारी की, तो गद्दार लोग मेरे ऊपर अविश्वास लाए और उसका मैं सामना करूं, कैसे हो सकता है? ये तो गद्दार लोग हैं। आज तो कोर्ट ने कहा, और मतलब कोर्ट ने गद्दार नहीं किया, लेकिन ये सारी बातें हैं। आज तो मतलब महाराष्ट्र में आप सरकार ही नहीं है। नैतिकता तो अभी जैसे मैंने नैतिकता का पालन किया, तो अगर इस मुख्यमंत्री में जरा भी कोई नैतिकता होगी तो मुख्यमंत्री और उप मुख्यमंत्री ने इस्तीफा देना चाहिए, जैसे मैंने दिया।
Number one, the whip by the so-called Shinde faction was held to be illegal. Number two, the recognition of that illegal whip by the speaker was itself illegal. Thirdly, the speaker's recognition of the entire Shinde faction was held to be illegal. And finally, friends, the entire governor's decision has been declared illegal on the ground that it lacks relevant objective material.
Well, Uddhav Thackeray and the lawyer Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi basing their views on the fact that the then governor and the speaker came in for sharp criticism from the Supreme Court. The verdict reads, and let me quote out of this verdict, especially on the issue of the Speaker's decision. Now, viewers, this is what it says. Speaker recognizing Gogawale as Chief Whip of Sena is illegal. Now, Mr. Gogawale was part of the Eknath Shinde faction of the Sena that broke away, viewers. So, the Speaker recognizing Gogawale as the Chief Whip of the Sena is illegal. And if you just extrapolate from there, if there was really a floor test, which there was, viewers, then that whip, therefore, would be untenable. Decision of Speaker recognizing Shinde as the party leader is also illegal. And the floor test cannot be used as a medium to resolve intra-party disputes. And now, the then governor is also faulted. The governor erred in relying on a resolution to conclude Uddhav lost the support of the majority. Governor had no objective material to doubt the confidence of the incumbent government. Governor can't enter the political arena and play the role in intra-party disputes. So all of this has been said. And after this scathing observation, Times Now spoke to the then governor, Bhagat Singh Koshyari, who says he still thinks his decision was right. Listen in very quickly, viewers.
जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कह दिया कि शिंदे का शपथ लेना सही था, जब शिंदे जी ने कोर्ट ने कह दिया है कि जब उद्धव जी ने इस्तीफा दे ही दिया तो उसके आगे तो कोई कुछ किया ही नहीं जा सकता। राज्यपाल के नाते मेरा ये कर्तव्य था कि कोई इस्तीफा दे रहा है तो मैं उसे स्वीकार कर लूं। तो उसको स्वीकार करके मैंने कौन सी गलती की है और फिर सवाल ही क्यों आगे उठा रहे हो? सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने खुद जब कह दिया है कि जब उन्होंने त्यागपत्र दे दिया है तो उससे आगे कुछ किया ही नहीं जा सकता।
Viewers, the problem here is that Mr. Uddhav Thackeray decided to quit before the floor test. In effect, he didn't demonstrate the courage of conviction to face the outcome on the floor. And it is because of that reason, viewers, that he backed out. He quit his position as Chief Minister. He threw in the towel, in effect, that the floor test, the governor was allowed to carry on with the floor test, as a result of which there was obviously a change in government. Now, obviously the BJP is pointing that out in response. Mr. Fadnavis and Mr. Shinde talked about this, saying that, look, how does the question of morality come into this when Mr. Uddhav Thackeray did not want to be tested on the floor of the House, which is really where things should have taken place. So if that didn't happen, if A didn't happen, then everything else that follows is inconsequential. Now that, many can argue, is a technical response, it's a technical defense, but the fact is, viewers, that it was convincing enough for the Supreme Court. Now, while blame will be traded by Uddhav Thackeray and his loyalists and the BJP and the Eknath Shinde faction of the Shiv Sena, viewers, there's no getting away from the fact. There's just no getting away from the fact that Uddhav Thackeray walked away from a contest. He chose to quit, preferring not to face a floor test. That sets him apart from his father Bal Thackeray's record. The founder of the Sena was known to bravely stand up to challenges, some that even threatened to unseat him as boss of the Shiv Sena. Now consider these hard facts, viewers, and I always put the hard facts before you, for you to consider, and only on the basis of these hard facts do I build arguments that you could also perhaps use. Now let's go back to 1999. The Shiv Sena is voted out of power. It is on the sidelines. But Bal Thackeray refused the option of allying with, as he called it, the scoundrel NCP led by Sharad Pawar. This is not what his son did. His son eventually allied with a party that his own father thought was a scoundrel party. So completely did a volte-face. So Uddhav Thackeray completely does a volte-face. In 2005, viewers, Mr. Rane and Raj Thackeray quit the Shiv Sena. It was a monumental body blow to the Shiv Sena. But Mr. Bal Thackeray refused to give in to the demands of leadership change. And he let these individuals go. And he held on to his party, built it back up, and then handed the reins to his son. But Uddhav Thackeray could have fought for his party. but quit his post, viewers. Lost both the party and the symbol and the Sena. Now, once again, let's go back to 2010. Unsuitability of Sonia Gandhi was a big issue back then. Mr. Thackeray never backed down on opposing Sonia Gandhi over foreign origins, even though Mr. Sharad Pawar, who quit the party almost 10 years earlier, did a U-turn on that issue, viewers. But Uddhav Thackeray, viewers, had no compunctions in allying with the Congress. In 2012, strong opposition to Congress, Bal Thackeray compared the Congress to a disease, quote unquote, refused to have any truck with the grand old party. Again, his son doesn't follow in his father's footsteps. And therefore, viewers, today, the question is, while we debate morality, discuss morality, can a paper tiger claim the legacy of Mr. Bal Thackeray legitimately? If he's run away from a contest, can he cry victim? Can he still appeal to those and say that he retains the moral high ground? That's the fundamental question, viewers. Let's ask it. Let's ask it.